Good evening, everybody. I call to order the Tuesday, August 11th, 2026 regular board meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Pledge of Allegiance. Trustee Heading, can you please lead us in share church?
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Reports. Can I have a motion to approve the reports as, roll call. I always forget about that. Roll call.
Supervisor Bauman,
Yes.
trustee Arroyo,
Here.
trustee Henning,
Yes.
trustee Nader,
Here.
trustee Sloan.
Here.
A quorum is established. Also present is Assessor Brust, Clerk Repa, Bob Kula, Township Attorney Megan Mack with Ansel Blink.
Thank you. Now can I have a motion to approve the reports as presented?
I won't accept the supervisor's report. It had already been presented to this board.
Okay. Anybody else?
I just had a report I was gonna give, even though I didn't, I can do that with, it's not written, right? It's nothing that big, but I just didn't get a chance to get it in by last week. So I just did a couple things this month that I thought were interesting as part of the township. So I thought now I have to make sure I can see what they are. I'm sorry, wrong
It would
page.
take a second.
No,
Oh, so
We need, hold on.
he did motion, and yeah.
I wasn't sure if
Yeah,
this
yeah,
was
we did.
discussion or
We need
report.
a second motion.
Okay,
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, now.
Okay. so we went to Pleasant Prairie and Elk Grove, Supervisor Bauman and I. And while I'd say the overall thing that I learned is all data centers are different, So I'm just gonna say what we found at those two places. The Pleasant Prairie is a really big data center there. And when we were standing on the property, there was like a low hum in the decibel, it was in the 50s. So we heard that. But it was pretty quiet actually. And then we went to Elk Grove and it was small. And I know there's others in Elk Grove, but by then it was 5 o'clock. That was first when we went to, just had to go, but maybe we can go back. We heard nothing there, but it might be just I don't know what kind of data center it was. I could look up what it was, but I don't remember at this moment. So we did that just to get a little info. And then, let's see, the other thing that I did. Oh, I went yesterday and checked out the Norelius, is that how you say it, area. And first of all, it's really pretty. There's a really pretty little park down at the end. And this was more for you guys that I saw that area where the ground is, the house is low, and it was really, the road is really rugged there. I mean, not that I'm an authority on this, but it doesn't seem like a repaver. Like it's big holes and rough and everything. So I didn't really understand which property someone wants to buy, and I'll ask about that let Bob do his thing before I, ask about that. And then the other thing I did is I talked to Bob Seminary today. He's the mayor of Round Lake Park. Because we had talked about Round Lake Park as part of the upcoming thing on the agenda about the lawyer policy. And they don't do that anymore. They don't have somebody, they don't have somebody like triage or gatekeep talking to the lawyer. They actually have where you pay a monthly fee and they can call as many times as they want during the month for the lawyer. And they do have to tell that they're calling the lawyer, but then there's no conversation about why or what's the question or where you could get a better answer, but you do have to say, yes, I'm calling the lawyer. So that's his method, he said it's been going on for about, since he was trustee and mayor. So I don't know if that's 2 terms, what is that, 8 years? So anyway, I thought that was interesting, and that's something I never knew about the monthly fees. So that's what I've been doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have any more reports? If not, we will take a vote.
Trustee Henning,
What am I approving?
the
reports.
reports.
Well, I'll accept Patty's report, but not the supervisor's.
Patty's or
Patty's report.
Patty's report.
Patty's report, which she just gave right now.
Okay.
And then there's other written ones, right?
Yeah, that one should not.
Well, yeah, I'll accept the supervisor's report. I accept.
Okay. Trustee Nader,
Yes.
trustee Sloan,
Yes.
trustee Arroyo,
Aye.
supervisor Bauman.
Yes.
Motion carried. The reports were accepted as presented.
Number 5, old business. Do we have any old business tonight? If not, we'll go under new business. A, approval of the July 14th, 2026 Township Board meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
I vote that we approve the July 14th minutes.
Is there a second?
I move, I guess.
I'll second that motion.
Do we have any discussion?
I just wanted to say that I had said last month that I have in my phone our landscaper as Joel Vaughn guy on the, I just think this is kind of funny, on the tape, it came out as Longa, so that she has Joel Longa in the, but I gave her his real name. I thought that was, we just don't know how to say it,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of letters and she has it right. In the redo.
Yeah, that's funny.
Where are we?
The roll call vote. Okay. Trustee Nader,
Yes.
trustee Sloan,
Yes.
trustee Arroyo,
Aye.
trustee Henning,
Yes.
supervisor Bauman.
Yes.
Motion carried. Minutes were approved.
B, approval of unpaid bills as presented. 1 prepaid bills and 2 outstanding bills. Is there a motion?
Yes. We can pay the bills except the attorney's fee for July.
This should be just a motion first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I make a motion to pay the bills except for, can I say, except for July?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just said.
Yeah.
I'll second. Well, I don't know if I want a second. That's a little confusing.
Okay, so we'll pay all the bills,
Okay.
but we're holding off on the July attorney's fees. Because we haven't seen that bill yet.
So that's what
It
we're
just
not.
came.
Oh,
we're not-
so
we're
that
not-
even-
we're not even.
It's not
even-
I'm just saying,
Okay.
So we're just voting. on
The
bills
unpaid
as-
bills.
the
as
unpaid
presented.
bills.
Okay, then I second it.
Is there any discussion? So basically, we're voting on the bills because July hasn't come yet, so there's no additional bills to abstain from or not, what do you say no to, because they're not here in this.
Correct. I understand.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
We don't have the July bills.
So we're not gonna pay the July bills.
Correct.
They don't exist yet.
Yeah.
In our packet. So she's talking about something that we don't even have in our agenda right now for the bills. Right now, we're talking about June. So she means she's not going to pay the June bills.
We will pay the June bills. But we will not, that'll be it, we'll pay the June bills, the legal bills.
Okay? So you're saying no to,
I am saying, the prepaid bills need to go. and the outstanding bills.
Okay, so let's do it separately. How about that? I think it'll be
Whatever.
I think that'll be easier. Okay, so we're gonna start over again. Can I have approval of the monthly bills as presented? One, prepaid bills. Is there a second or motion?
I move that we had pay the prepaid bills as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Sloan,
Aye.
trustee Arroyo,
Aye.
trustee Henning,
Aye.
trustee Nader,
Aye.
supervisor Bauman.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried.
So now we go to outstanding bills. Is there a motion?
I move that we pay the outstanding bills as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second
Discussion. This would be very good discussion.
Yeah, we'll hold off, because like you said, the July bill hasn't come. I'm just really concerned about the amount that we're spending for the attorney, because to go move forward, we don't have money to pay the attorney for July. We don't. We have used 97% of the budget, and our year goes till March. So we really need to come up with a solution to rein in the spending.
We have any more discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Sloan,
Aye.
So we're approving all bills except for,
except for the 1 month. Trustee Arroyo,
it. Aye.
trustee Henning,
Aye.
trustee Nader,
Aye.
supervisor Bauman.
well, I don't want to go with what Liz said, so that you know. Okay. C, discussion and possible action to resolve pending unpaid legal bills. That would be Liz.
Okay.
Don't we have to do a motion first?
Yes, what I'm saying is,
Okay,
is there a motion? So we have to motion to discuss? Yes, and possible action to, so it's the same thing as we always do.
I'll make a motion to discuss.
And first you just made a motion to. Why don't you start over again? Say that again.
So I'm looking for a motion for discussion and possible action to resolve the pending unpaid bills. So we'll do a motion, then a second motion, and then we'll go into discussion.
I'll make a motion.
So do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Robert rules.
I do feel like that's a moot point at this moment because there are no, we just voted to pay the bills. So
It's a month before
they're all in there.
the May 2. Okay.
Yeah, May
Yeah,
and June are in there.
It's almost $8,000 worth of bills for
I
the
know.
attorney for the 2 months. Well, I'm
Right.
just saying, that's what it is, $8,000 for 2 months. It's a lot of money.
Okay. Is there any more discussion?
We're not, yeah, we can have it.
Yeah, so we can't do that.
Sorry.
So that's why I said before, we really need to look at how we can resolve this issue, because Megan's not gonna get paid. You know,
Well, is this the time to discuss this?
Well, we're not talking about the later agenda item, but it is talk about, we can talk about. it.
Okay, so I do see when I looked through everything and did some analysis of what the bills were
Mhm.
on that, it's about various things and I talked to a few people on other boards and, you know, the problems create the need to talk to attorney. And so we did have some significant problems that came up that caused the need to talk to an attorney. And if you look back, and I wasn't sure I should print this for everyone, maybe I should have, but the begin 23 and 24, the bills were pretty low comparatively.
In 24, but
wait.
it's huge.
And then in 25, there's some huge times too. Now the Anyway, it goes up and down is what I'm
Right.
trying to
Well,
say.
I
It goes
understand,
up and
and
down, so-
I've seen that, but I think that right now,
This is what you want to post for,
which one, this one?
both of them.
I'm gonna pass this out. I'm gonna use.
Thank you.
This is packet 2.
Did you get one?
And I understand how bills can go up and down. But there's a threshold, I think, of what the township should do. I mean, I'm looking at $8,000 and we could be giving many families a $100 gift card to go shopping for groceries. Because I am sure the SNAP program and other programs that were available to these families is no longer available. So spending this kind of money on attorney's fees just makes
Is
my
that a
heart
double?
sick. I think we need to be thinking of people that we're working for. We're supposed to be in charge of the finances as trustees, and I think this is a runaway train.
And I think, as Patty was saying, when problems arise and council's not contacted, sometimes those cause additional fees. And there's a whole bunch that goes into it. It's not just one person. And so this is something I think we'll discuss more. And I agree, there are ways of getting our legal bills down, but there's also cases where it's important to talk to counsel.
I understand, and a lot of it is developing our agenda. Well, you have 4 or 5 people here that would be more than happy to help set the agenda. Patty was a teacher. I'm sure she knew how to set agendas when she was in the classroom and with her colleagues. And David, I'm sure you set agenda in your business doing stuff, and you as well with the dance, and Tracy with her background. And I think if we want to work together as a board, let's work together as a board and not be calling the attorney all the time saying, oh, what do you think of this? How do you think we could approach this? What could we say? We are totally left out of that circle. Totally. We're left out of all the different activities that are taking place. And so if you want a cohesive board, you've got to reach out to the people that are on your board.
Well, I think that if we have, if we all agree that, yeah, this is too much, kind of the usual protocol on boards would be to get everyone together to look at the problem, and then have a committee look at ways to solve the problem. And I think maybe that would be a good idea.
I agree. And sometimes also you need to contact the attorney because the information is not
I
coming.
totally agree. I'm not saying you don't need an attorney. What I'm saying is that when you call an attorney on Saturdays and Sundays and before a holiday, I think that's disrespectful to the attorney. And I don't think big problems arise like that you need to, 3 hours on one day to talk to the attorney. Those things really get to me. And especially when I'm looking at the community that we're supposed to be serving. They're not, I'm sure many of the people would be just horrified to know how much money we
I
were
do
spending.
think the 3-hour one was the board meeting was included. So
Well, but
I just want
still,
to
that's,
mention that.
but it's just, it's just too much time. I mean, really. Well,
And I
when
think
you
we're
spend
agreeing
3
with
hours
you.
a day with a phone call with your best friend,
No, the 2 of those 3 hours were here at the board.
well, but there's other times too that are.
But I'm saying you were just picking and choosing one item.
I looked at everything.
Okay, Liz, if you would like to continue pointing out everything, I will let you do that because that's
Well, no,
your
'cause I'm
right.
not gonna board everybody, looking for it. But they know that there's a problem here.
Okay,
They've heard it.
Okay, that's good.
so, any more discussion?
How will we move forward with this?
Well,
I think there's another.
it's on the agenda. Another, honestly, we'll talk about that later because the two things are different. So I think we're better off moving on, and when we get to that item, we can discuss it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
And
is
then
there
what-
anything else?
I mean, if there's discussion and possible action to resolve pending, so I feel like what are we going to do is like, that is
Well-
the agenda item.
But later on, that was also put on the agenda item, a policy that was created.
But if we want to all, okay,
So,
Tell me where you're reading,
so there was
where
a
I'm
pol-
reading what?
what you just said. I'm just,
On
The
C.
agenda item
On
C
C.
says discussion and possible action to resolve.
just
And
asking.
so I have a question. We'll discuss it later on. So discussion and possible actions to resolve the pending unpaid legal bills and different things like that. But
It must be.
when most of the board gets together or separately, one-on-one, two-on-one, however it is, and they create a policy, and does that include everybody in that policy? That is not working together as a board. So I think later on, we could discuss that further, because this past weekend, we did not work together as a board.
Michelle, we would have worked together had you gotten in your agenda
Okay,
when Tracy requested orally and through email to get the agenda to her by Wednesday. She did not get the agenda till later, and she had
So C.
talked to all of us and said she wasn't gonna have time this weekend to do it. So out of respect, we had to hand in everything we did,
okay,
and she didn't have yours.
okay, thank you. Is there any more discussion?
I do see what you meant. I was happen to be looking at my minutes now. So sorry about that.
Is
I
there-
just wanted to know where, because I was having trouble finding it. Well, as long as that was brought up, I think it was Thursday morning, our clerk wanted it. And which some reason I thought it was Friday morning, but that had
Yes.
nothing to do with it because I wasn't doing anything, but then you gave you turned in your agenda items Wednesday night.
Yeah, I turned them in on time. Yes.
No, but
7:38.
to Michelle,
It's
then
7:38.
Michelle was telling her to
Everything,
Tracy.
I send it to Michelle and I send it to Tracy, so everything gets,
At 7:38 PM.
it's Wednesday, it's still Wednesday,
Okay.
it's not midnight.
It's,
Actually, there was not a request for anything for the agenda
okay. For who?
by you. You didn't make a request for anybody to submit their information. You did it for the cow. but
Well,
you didn't do it.
I honestly, because you submitted your thing, so you're right. Okay, so is there any more discussion? Because I mean, honestly, I think that we are going to continue have to working on discussion and possible action to resolve depending on legal bills as they come up. So I don't think today, at this moment in time, we could do that, but we could continue moving on to the additional agenda items. And when we get to we can continue more.
So you're saying just discussion only?
Yes. I mean, I didn't put it on there, so it has to be the person, because I don't think we could resolve the unpaid legal bills unless we're gonna stop for an hour and try to figure that out. When there's later on, there's an agenda item to discuss this.
I'm just realizing that, so I'm gonna kind of go back to the other conversation, that maybe there's a little, I don't know if it's confusion, but so this was an unforeseen, or, certain circumstance that you wanted it sooner, but in my head, it would go to the supervisor and then she would send it to the clerk. So the supervisor would need time to prepare the agenda to send to the clerk. But maybe that isn't what, I just mean, maybe we didn't fully communicate about what the process was going to be like. And that added to some of the confusion, because if you needed it Thursday morning, maybe we should have stated when Michelle needed it.
It is stated on that email.
It is stated, and what does
Yes,
that
it is.
say?
The email outlines the 3 points of information to Michelle by this point, Michelle to Tracy by this
Okay.
point, Tracy at this
So
point,
what was,
because I was gone
no, I
all the
understand.
time. Yeah.
I just didn't
At
remember
7:38,
the details
getting
of your
an agenda item makes it a little bit hard for me when I do have work and I do have other things. And Tracy, I do apologize. I do apologize.
It's communication though too.
There,
There was no communication to me that it was coming the next day where I could have maybe arranged something.
so,
So we're,
go on.
yeah, no, that's all I'm gonna say.
Go on. So again, guys, I apologize to you, but we could talk about your email, when me and you, Liz, were going back and forth, you never responded back to me at the end.
No, I didn't have a hard copy to send you. You're right, I didn't. And Patty called me right away and I told her I didn't have a hard copy. And so I know you two were talking with each other, which was wonderful.
Well, I really actually hadn't talked to Michelle yet.
But
I just saw an email.
you could have responded to me and said, I don't have a hard copy. So yes, communication is a big problem
Right.
with this board right now. So, again, I think we should table it, or we should see what happens later on when we talk about the policy.
Okay. I'm okay.
That's fine.
Okay, is everybody, so we're gonna table that. So we're gonna go on to the next item. Discussion and possible action on Norris Avenue drainage and roadway improvement. That would be Bob.
Everybody get a chance to drive by?
We
Yes.
have to do a motion
Yes,
and, a second.
is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Good discussion, the first, okay. You're up.
So what was everybody's opinion? My opinion, at first, when we first brought it up, it's $1 million, doing $1 million repair on something that might need to be addressed. After the $1 million repair again, kind of scared me, but when I went down there to look at it, I realized that the whole street is gonna get repaired. If there was an issue with that section, you probably would be repairing that section, not the whole entire road, so it wouldn't be another $1 million repair, kind of thing. You'd be just addressing that portion, maybe purchasing that land, maybe, and figuring something out. I don't know how that works out, but
Sure. I think the land is really, it's just been brought up in passing, but I think that's not the way to address it, the way to. So the flooding problems, fast addressed, we do that. Portion I told you about.
Yeah.
Could you, just do like a little recap
On the whole road.
on just, yeah.
So the road, the portion of the flood is about 150 feet.
Okay,
The road in its entirety is about 1,725.
okay,
So the whole road is whole needs to be done. That area that floods, probably 50% of the water, 25% of the water around there comes from our water, from up on top by Thompson, that's the next road up.
Okay, yeah.
That water comes down to that low area. The other portion of it comes from Fairfield Road, from the curb gutter, coming from down Fairfield Road going south.
okay,
That water dumps into a vacant property on the north side, and then meanders its way onto the street. And adds to the flooding.
okay.
That's a big part of it. Just from what I observed when we had that last month and a half ago, 2 months, whatever it was, when we had that flooding. After the rain was done and the water stopped running, we were out there pumping. No more water was coming from our portion, but it was still coming from the town.
Well,
I mean, they're moving a lot of water down. I understand, but there's no way to approach that, to bring the water across the roads and tie it into their system on the other side and keep it moving down. It's all about, I think I told you last meeting, water all goes the same place. It's just how it gets there. The
And where
pipe,
it comes from.
yeah, there's a pipe at the bottom of that hill where it floods, that goes south, right, through some private property that's an easement field. That pipe runs underneath Dave's transmission, not underneath the building, but in between the Dave's and the next house to the west. There's a little alley there, so the pipe runs through there. That's how the water gets out to the retention pond that Ronald Beach has, and then makes its way out to Longwood. So, yeah, you can address this any way you want. The road needs to be done. If you guys still aren't comfortable with that, until that flooding issue is resolved, by all means, you can wait until we deal with the county. But it doesn't take away the fact that I think we saw the condition of the road.
Mhm.
The road needs to be done. You know, it's not the end of the world if we wait another year. The risk you're taking is the price is gonna go up.
So last month, you kind of gave us an option of 2 stages, do part of it, and then wait for the county, or did I misunderstand that?
Well, again, if you're gonna do the road project, you can do it in its entirety,
Okay,
and then, you know, work with the county to address their part up on top of Fairfield at the intersection.
okay,
And that would, in my opinion, take care of most of the plan.
okay,
And Bob and I talked today when he came into my office too, that next year or so is gonna cost more money to. if we're going with this, to get them.
The only way that's not gonna happen, is if oil comes down.
right,
A lot of that is on, asphalt is oil, concrete is, you know, oil driven by the way it's made. So everything is driven by oil price, and then there's labor, of course. Labor is not gonna go down. So
okay.
that's what.
So the county can do their part.
I'm not saying they are.
No, let's say they are. Would they be tearing up a huge section of the road? Or
It wouldn't be Norellis, it would be Fairfield.
it'd be careful, okay.
Yeah, it'd be right at the intersection. All the township roads, actually, even when we do the project, our road starts, you know, wherever the county's right away ends. So that's just not the footprint of Fairfield Road and back of the curb. It's gonna be in and under, you know, wherever it's 10, 15, 20 feet. They own right away, just like we do beyond the footprint of the road. So our project would stop there, so it wouldn't disturb what we've already done.
Okay.
And then, and again, they could say, you know, sorry, we can't do it. We can't affect it. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that the whole road is in its entirety has clearly on the way with storm system right now, the road's falling apart.
Okay,
So do we have any more questions about it? Thank you, Bob, for the feedback.
Oh, thank you.
Not roll call.
I just want to make sure that I know what they're voting on,
To approve.
to approve that now as opposed to waiting.
Yes.
Something. All right, trustee Henning,
Yes,
trustee Nager, trustee Sloan,
yes,
trustee Arroyo,
Yes,
supervisor Bauman.
Yes.
Okay. Agenda or motion carried.
Next, discussion and possible action on consulting services year 24 compliance. That would be Bob again.
Yeah. You guys even know what, I think that wording probably just could have been a little bit better. If that's me, I apologize. That's where I'm 24 compliant. So just to recap that, you know, every year we have to submit, we have to get a permit from IEPA. Because we are an MS4. That's the municipal separate storm sewer system. So our water is, to put our water into another body of water, we have to have that permit. Do any of the work we do, you know, whether we're putting water into Long Lake, Mantua Creek, Mill Creek, or Long Lake, or any other bodies of water, just to discharge that water, we have to have that permit. And to do that permit, we have to have this, do this MS4, which was done by DHA. I think it was in your tag, you guys have read what they do. We also are part of that. Our part is good housekeeping, so always for ourselves. Because always for ourselves, in effect, with that way on that, our runoff, if the council, I would tell. Without water change, but that's going to be way out to somebody. So, maintenance on our vehicles, washing the trucks, like this small stuff like that. Using phosphate for the soap or trucks. And then we do inspections as well on all our storm trees. Inspect them for leaks. We inspect them for illicit discharge. That's what they're probably looking for oil, increase, you know, that's easy, that's the spot. We're always looking for a list of discharge also. We do that every year, at least a couple times a year. We'll go through every, and that's in the hundreds, we go through them, inspect, pull the lid on every one of them, inspect them. And then that gets incorporated into this whole report that GHA submits to the IUP, so we can get that from us.
No,
That's what that's for.
So you're asking us to approve?
Yeah, it's another year of GHA putting together the, working with IUPA and doing their part to continue to have our work.
Got it. Do we have any more questions for Bob? If not,
thanks for explaining about.
we can vote.
Okay. Trustee Nader.
Yes.
Trustee Sloan.
Aye.
Trustee Arroyo.
Aye.
Trustee Henning.
Aye.
Supervisor Bauman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, discussion and possible action on shredding events. Liz, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, we have a shredding event coming up.
Township shed first.
Oh, township shed, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Sorry, I actually have that out here.
Both SH.
So, as we talked before, the additional cost for the shed, concrete is gonna be,
Do we have a motion?
yes. Oh, is there a motion?
I'll move.
Is there a
I'm
second?
second motion.
Okay, now discussion. So Bob looked into the cost of the concrete and Bob's, in the highway department would be putting it in. So the base price would be, or the shoulder price would be $1,041.33. But if we could save a little bit of money if we choose prairie wood. So we went,
Prairie and Brent House.
okay,
Yeah, they were somewhat less, they don't charge, try to be,
No, that's
okay,
they all require out, you know, the house. But they waive the credit fee. And so there's some savings. And their cost for the fiber mesh. Fiber mesh is added to the package to make it stronger.
Right.
That is a little bit cheaper than the other one.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
looking into that, Bob.
and I talked to Home Depot and there's no problem, the highway department putting in the concrete at all. They'd be putting in the shed. So it would be an additional,
It doesn't void our warranty.
what?
It doesn't void our warranty.
No, not at
It
all.
won't. Will they provide a written statement saying that they'll accept the warranty if something's not right?
It's the concrete. It has nothing to do with,
Put the shed on top of the concrete. That's what once you put the shed, who puts the shed together? Is it our responsibility?
No.
Through Home Depot.
it's Tough Shed.
Tough Shed does.
To
That's what I
Home
thought.
Depot.
So that's,
Yes,
they do
yes,
warranty.
yes. And they do not require, it would have to be somebody else doing concrete unless we're gonna be paying some other.
Right. No, I understand that. I just
Yes,
I'm concerned about the warranty.
yes. So is there any more questions on that?
Have we given any more consideration? Because it seems like we're not following everything. Like, what more are you gonna need in that shed? How much more money are we gonna need to
Well,
think of?
we did put in some money already for the shelving and things.
You've
like
already
that.
purchased the shelving,
No.
or does that come with it?
No, there was additional funding when we talked about that, but I could get that to you next month, but right now.
It landed.
I'm so sorry.
So right now, Liz, our goal is to get the shed.
No problem.
So the money is in holding right now to be able to get the shed, so we can get that process started. And then we can talk about next month, if you want to know about the shelving and things like that.
Did you say, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Can we look in? Okay, I know we need a contingency fee in case something, happens. We've talked about that before. But I'm just thinking, we're getting this in piecemeal. We're doing the shed, now we got a concrete bill, there are other things that we need to consider. We need a contractor to do the electricity.
We have
I
that
know.
ready.
You said you have volunteers, but if things go wrong, they can come back and sue us as a board because we approved it. And so I would rather that we go through the proper channels of putting things together then the fire department doesn't have to come back and say, this is done wrong and this is done wrong. That's my opinion. If we were building a house, I'm sure you would all want an electrical contractor
Okay,
being hired.
that's fine. We have any other questions?
Is,
So we're not, so you want to wait on approving the concrete then? So we have electrician, do we have everything else? Or
Is
that's
the-
up the board?
is the electrician you have, are they a licensed electrician?
Yes, Bob is George, a licensed electrician. Yes, he is.
Okay, so that's,
And Bob also,
Does he have a bill? How much will it cost? to
Free.
have him?
it's free. Everything that he's done in this place so far, he's worked with Bob so that there is no charge.
We also did have electrical issues when the fire department came through. So I'm trying
I,
to,
that I don't know, that one you would have to explain to me because this whole meeting, you're like this. That was not the case. The case was we haven't had an inspector, surprise inspector since probably Anne Marie has been working here. And so the things that we had wrong, Bob, can you please discuss the things that we had wrong? They were minor things.
What is the problem, the electrical issues that we had were some GFCI outlets that were
Mhm,
not working
Okay.
properly.
okay,
And the outside of the building is buried behind bushes that nobody ever uses,
okay,
but they still test them.
sure,
So those all got replaced.
okay,
And then the exit light, which is up now.
Right.
And then I think the only other big problem was I think the food pantry when it was built wasn't designed for electrical, it wasn't designed for all these refrigerators.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
now that we have them all, there wasn't enough outlets to go around. So there was an extension cord running.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been resolved.
That's all. Okay, good, thank you.
Not George, not me, George did that,
Mhm.
licensed electrician, going into a server panel, that's up to the licensed electrician, so he took care of that. And put in a lot of there, so there's no more connection cord. That was really the extent of the electrical. problem.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
Nothing
explanation.
new that it was bad workmanship, it was
Okay.
just older things.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Is there any more questions? Okay. If not, is there a motion to approve the concrete needed for the township shed?
I would approve Prairie Concrete in Vernon Hills to provide the concrete.
Do you want to go up to $1,000 just in case there's a?
I think $1,000 would probably be good for a contingency fee.
Okay, so how do you
so
want?
not to exceed.
Not to
the
exceed $1,000.
I'll second that.
Is there any more discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Sloan,
Aye.
trustee Arroyo,
Aye.
trustee Henning,
Aye.
trustee Nader,
Aye.
supervisor Bauman,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay,
Thanks, Michelle, for the letter from Round Lake regarding the getting the approval permits done.
yeah, and they were free.
Yeah, thank you.
As I stated.
That's what he said.
So now we're going to go on to H, discussion and approval of the annual audit reports for ending in 2/28/26. So did everybody have a chance to read the audit report?
Riveting.
It's riveting, very riveting. So what they do is there's a representative from the company that will spend all day going through all of our financials and all of our papers and everything that's in Anne Marie's office that they request. And then what they do is they, take all that data and then they make a report. And this is something that goes on every year.
Michelle, did we move by a trustee and something that
Yes.
we did?
Oh, no, this one, no, we did not.
Okay, so it's only going to be discussion.
Yeah, because I mean, maybe we could just discussion possible action to approve the audit as presented.
Don't we have to have a motion by the trustee?
Yes. So is there a motion?
Motion to discuss and approve the annual audit. report?
Yes.
That's what you need.
Yes.
There you go.
So is there
I'll
a
second.
second? Discussion. So does anybody have any questions on that report? So I was just trying to give a basis of how that comes about, and that is every single year. And if they find anything wrong with the numbers or things don't seem to match up, then they report that.
And they said everything was current.
They said everything was
fine.
current, it's good, and it's based on last year, not this present year that we're in. So we're just looking for approval of the annual reports.
So I'll move that we approve the annual audit report.
I'll second it with you, Barry.
Okay, yeah. So, with no more discussion, we could go to roll call.
Trustee Henning,
Aye.
trustee Nader,
Aye.
trustee Sloan,
Aye.
trustee Arroyo,
Aye.
supervisor Bauman,
Yes.
motion carried.
And now we are going to go on to I, discussion and possible action on Avon Township attorney use of the policy.
We didn't do the shredding of that, which is next.
Oh, so we skipped
Well,
it
we
before.
skipped the shredding.
You know, I think it was so small, it was like half this size, so yes, let's go on to shredding event.
Let's do that,
Alright.
yeah.
Thank you.
It's so small.
So, we're having a shredding event, which, will be in September. Thank you, Bob, for all, contacting different people. I'm getting some good volunteers coming in. We're gonna do it September
We
26th.
hate to do this. We need to do a move by a trustee,
Motion.
second,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, to discuss.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We've been doing that.
I'll motion to discuss the
I'll second it.
Discussion. We're just so active, we just want to talk.
But I guess I thought we had already discussed it when I brought it up, but whatever. So because we were able to get, with Bob's help again, thank you, we were able to get quite a few people to come and join in on it. So it only is costing the township $100.
Oh.
It could have been $1,100 to $1,300, but because we were able to work with the communities around here, they're gonna send volunteers as well. So they're gonna take food, we'll collect food for our food pantry, and we would like to have the shoes. Someone's gonna have to put the shoes together in rollerblades. They want them tied together. But that's what we're gonna do. So is the curb gonna be finished by that? I don't mean to throw that on your shoulder, Bob, because really, you have done so much to help this. It should be done. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Once the curb guys get in, and I think, that, I think you can see how much water's in there, right?
Oh, I did. I was naming it Lake River Kibon.
Once the curb guys get in, it's gonna take, that amount of curb, I think you can probably get it done in a day
Yeah,
or 2 days.
yeah.
And then probably want to get back in, get the old concrete light out of there. It's gonna move super quick.
Right.
Once the curb.
Yeah, I just want,
We have a weather thing going on and we have more rain coming in the next couple days.
oh yeah,
It's just gonna be tough.
it really delays everything.
But by against,
Yeah, okay, thank you. So we're looking for soup because we're going into the fall. Soup and canned chilies, peanut butter, soy, rice and pesto is what we're reaching out for. So I invite all of you to come and help us as well for a fun morning. So that's it, $100. Not a bad deal.
Well done.
Thank you. And now we're going to go to discussion and possible action on Avon Township attorney use policy. So who wants to take that one?
Becca is.
Oh, but we need a motion first.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. we need a
I make a
motion,
motion.
And then a second. Second? This is
Interpretation of it.
And I haven't seen that.
We need a second.
Let's second.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Okay, discussion. Okay, so Becca,
Can we read this first?
sure. And I do have copies of the attorney use and adult service policies, if anybody wants a copy of what the trustees propose, and then we could take it from there.
And then you can see. Mhm. I'm doing this file.
If anybody else wants one.
Oh, it's got it.
Yes.
I'll take it. Sign it, maybe. I don't have it with you.
Anybody else want a copy? I'm reading it, Eddie, you still reading?
Yeah.
Everybody done? Okay, about that? It's your agenda item, so they chose you to be the representative of the policy that was created.
Right, attorney use. All my pages. Attorney use and legal services policy. One, purpose. The purpose of this policy is to establish a uniform process for obtaining legal advice and services on behalf of Avon Township, centralize communications with the township attorney through the township clerk, prevent unnecessary, duplicative, or unauthorized legal work, promote transparency among township elected officials, and control the township's legal expenses. 2, scope. This policy applies to all Avon Township elected officials, appointed officials, employees, departments, committees, and agents seeking legal advice or services at township expense. Nothing in this policy is intended to interfere with the independent statutory duties of an elected official or otherwise limit any authority granted by the Illinois law. The township clerk serves as clerk of the township board and custodian of township records pursuant to the Illinois Township Code, including 60 ILCS 1-75-5 and 60 ILCS 1/80-45. 3, township attorney represents the township. The township attorney is retained to represent Avon Township as a governmental entity. The township attorney does not represent any other individual elected official, employee, or department in personal capacity unless such representation is separately authorized by the township board and permitted under applicable law and professional conduct requirements. 4, township clerk as central point of contact. 1, all requests for legal service, legal advice, legal research, document preparation, document review, legal opinions, or other attorney services shall be submitted to the township clerk. 2, elected officials, employees, departments, and committees shall not directly contact the township attorney or authorize the township attorney to perform work at the township expense. 3, the township clerk shall transmit authorized legal requests to the township attorney, coordinate related communications, receive the attorney's response, and maintain appropriate records of the request and response. 4, the township attorney shall be instructed to refer any direct request received from another township official or employee to the township clerk before commencing work, unless an exception under this policy applies. 5, the township clerk shall provide a copy of all legal service requests as well as responses from the township attorney to all the elected officials in Avon Township. 5, submission of legal requests. A request for legal services should be submitted to the township clerk in writing and should include the specific legal question or service requested, a concise description of the relevant facts, copies of pertinent documents, any applicable deadline, whether litigation, threat litigation, personnel matters, or another information matter involved, the name of the official or employee responsible for providing additional information. The clerk may request clarification, supporting documents, or consolidation of related questions before referring a request to the township attorney. 6, review and authorization by the clerk. Before submitting a request to the township attorney, the township clerk shall determine whether the request concerns official township business, legal assistance is reasonably necessary, the matter has already been addressed by counsel, the requested work would duplicate another pending request, the information can be obtained from an existing policy, opinion, agreement, or public resource, and the anticipated work is consistent with the township's legal services budget and any applicable spending authorization. The clerk may consolidate related requests, define or narrow the scope of an inquiry, request an estimated cost, establish a spending limit, or defer a non-urgent matter for consideration by the township board. 7, exclusive authority for PTAB and FOIA legal matters. 8, property tax appeal board matters. The township assessor shall be the only Avon Township elected official authorized to initiate or request legal advice, representation, document preparation, or any other legal assistance concerning a decision, appeal, proceeding, filing, or other matter before the Attorney Property Tax Appeal Board, PTAB. All requests initiated by the township assessor shall be submitted through the township clerk in accordance with this policy. No other elected official, employee, department, committee, or agent may request or direct township attorney to perform legal work concerning a PTAB matter without the express written authorization of the township assessor. The township clerk shall serve as an administrative point of contact with the township attorney, but shall not alter, withdraw, or materially expand the assessor's request without the assessor's consent or direction from the township board that is consistent with Illinois law. The Freedom of Information Act matters. The township clerk shall be the only Avon Township elected official authorized to request legal advice, document review, legal research, or any other legal assistance concerning a request submitted under the Illinois Freedom of Information Act. All FOIA-related legal questions shall be referred to the township clerk. No other elected official, employee, department, committee, or agent may independently contact or direct the township attorney regarding a FOIA request, proposed response, denial, exemption, extension, review, request for review, or redactions. All officials, employees, departments, and agents shall promptly provide the township clerk with records and information reasonably necessary to evaluate and respond to a FOIA request. The clerk may consult the township attorney when the clerk determines that legal assistance is necessary or appropriate. C, applicability of other provisions. The authorization established in this section is exclusive and is not displaced by the emergency contact provision of this policy, except when direct attorney contact is immediately necessary to comply with the court order, binding legal deadline, or directive from the Illinois Attorney General's public access counselor, and the official authorized under this section cannot be reached. Nothing in this section authorizes legal work beyond available appropriations, applicable spending authority, or the lawful powers and duties of the respective township offices. All legal services and resulting invoices remain subject to the cost controls, reporting requirements, and claims procedures contained in this policy. 8, distribution of legal responses. Upon receiving a response from the township attorney, the township clerk shall promptly relay the response to all Avon Township elected officials so that the officials receive consistent and complete legal information. The clerk shall distribute the attorney's response in its original form whenever practical and shall not materially alter or selectively summarize the attorney's advice. Distribution may be limited only when the township attorney advises that the broader disclosure would violate the Illinois rules of professional conduct, create or worsen a conflict of interest, disclose information concerning an elected official who is individually adverse to the township, improperly disclose confidential personnel, litigation, or investigative information, or waive or materially impair the attorney-client privilege or another legal protection. Any restriction on distribution should be no broader than the council determines necessary. 9, prohibition against unauthorized legal work. No official, employee, department, or committee may independently direct the township attorney to begin legal work, expand the scope of an existing assignment, retain outside counsel, or incur legal fees on behalf of Avon Township without authorization under this policy. An unauthorized request shall not constitute authorization for payment of the resulting legal fees. The township attorney shall notify the clerk before undertaking work outside the scope of an authorized assignment. 10, meetings and telephone conferences. To minimize legal expenses, 1, conferences with the township attorney should be scheduled with the township clerk. 2, the clerk shall identify the township representatives who should participate. 3, when practical, questions and relevant documents should be provided to council in advance. 4, multiple officials should not separately contact council about the same subject. 5, the clerk may require that routine communications occur by email instead of telephone or meeting. 6, the clerk may request agendas, cost estimates, status reports, or written summaries for significant matters. Nothing in this section prohibits the township board from requesting that the township attorney attend a board meeting. 11, emergencies and time-sensitive matters. When an immediate legal response is reasonably necessary to protect public safety, preserve the township's legal rights, comply with a court or statutory deadline, respond to law enforcement, or address another genuine emergency, an elected official may contact the township attorney directly if the township clerk cannot be reached in time, subject to the exclusive authority requirements of Section 7. The official shall notify the clerk as soon as practical and provide a written summary of the communication. The township attorney shall also promptly notify the clerk of the contact, subject to applicable and ethical restrictions. Convenience, disagreement with the clerk, or desire to receive a separate legal opinion does not constitute an emergency. 12, litigation and special counsel. The township clerk shall coordinate routine communications between the township and litigation counsel. The township board may designate a particular official or employee to communicate directly with the council concerning specific litigation, labor negotiations, investigations, real estate transactions, or other specialized matters subject to Section 7 and applicable law. No additional or special counsel may be retained at township expense except through lawful authorization by the township board or is otherwise expressly permitted by law. 13, billing and cost controls. The township attorney shall provide detailed invoices identifying, to the extent permitted by privilege and confidentiality, the date services were performed, the attorney or professional performing the work, a meaningful description of services, the time billed, the applicable hourly rate, expenses charged, and the matter to which the charge relates. The clerk may question charges, request additional descriptions, identify unauthorized or duplicative work, and seek corrections or credits. Final approval and payment remain subject to the township board's statutory auditing authority and other applicable requirements. 14, attorney-client privilege and confidentiality. Legal advice distributed under this policy shall remain subject to the attorney-client privilege, work product doctrine, applicable confidentiality laws, and the Illinois Freedom of Information Act. Township officials and employees shall not forward, publish, or disclose privileged legal communications outside the group authorized to receive them without first consulting the township attorney through the clerk. Distribution of legal advice among township officials for the purpose of conducting township business is not intended to waive any privilege or legal protection. 15, individual legal advice. An official or employee seeking advice concerning personal liability, an individual ethical obligation, a dispute with the township, election or campaign activity, or another matter outside of the scope of the township's attorney's representation shall obtain independent legal counsel at personal expense. 16, noncompliance. A violation of this policy may result in rejection or challenge of unauthorized legal charges, suspension of direct access to township counsel, referral to the township board, appropriate corrective or disciplinary action where legally authorized, or any other remedy available under the township policy or applicable law. 17, statutory authority and conflict. This policy is an administrative and financial control policy. It shall not be interpreted to transfer, diminish, or interfere with the statutory powers or duties of any independently elected township official. If a provision of this policy conflicts with federal or Illinois law, a court order, an applicable professional conduct requirement, or a binding contractual obligation, the controlling legal authority shall govern, and the remainder of the policy shall continue in effect. 18, effective date. This policy shall take effect immediately upon its approval by the Avon Township Board and shall remain in effect until amended or repealed.
Thank you. So who would like to talk about the policy? No, I was not a part of the policy. I found out on Monday afternoon was the first time I saw the policy, so I'm going to let them talk about it.
Well, we started the talk because the bills have been so high. And right now this month we've approved an $8,110.25 legal payment, which leaves us at $896 left in a line item. We don't have the money in that line item to pay the bill. So we've looked at it as you're not calling your best friend, you're calling an attorney. And the attorney charges, your best friend doesn't. And I've said this before, if you need help sending an agenda, there's all of us on the board that are willing to help. But these fees have to come down. This is an excessive, like I said, we could feed a family. There's so many families out there that don't have jobs that could use $100 to go grocery shopping. But we're spending it on attorney fees. Yes, we need an attorney. I'm not denying that. But we need to use caution, extreme caution, when we're calling them up and we're getting billed for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes. It's a lot. Calling them on the weekend. Maybe there's a fire going on and you need to call them, but really, I just think it's an excessive amount bill. And I don't want anybody coming back and saying, you're approving all this. How do we pull in the raise, Michelle? How do we work that? We don't have, $8,000. It's 2 months. That's a lot of money. Do you comprehend how every time you call her, she's the cha-ching, cha-ching?
And so Liz, I'm really not going to get into a debate with you, but if this policy was it, I have questions. I'll wait on my questions.
Okay. I feel like, and I don't know if we can even change an agenda item, but given the memorandum from the lawyer, the policy would have to be totally changed for us to even, we couldn't vote on that.
There's like 17
Tonight.
legal things on this policy.
Right.
It was created with
Excuse
house
me.
attorney.
So
We did have an attorney. We had outside people, an attorney that we spoke with.
Oh, okay.
so maybe we should,
AI didn't.
just talk about how we plan to deal with this problem that our attorney bills are high and what we can do about it outside of this policy or outside of, maybe blaming people or just like more productive problem solving.
Yeah.
So
That's what we need.
it doesn't seem like, I don't know if we can do that tonight, or we say we're gonna have an extra meeting to do that, or, I mean, those are some choices we
Right.
have. I think that there are a lot of, there's several categories, like I made categories of what we were charged, like I have FOIA, other board members, different trustees talk to the lawyer, Michelle, Anne Marie, the car, the cleaning, Cindy, the cemetery and Bob, and board meeting costs. Those were the categories I saw. So they're not, it is a variety of things. And
Right.
maybe we
You
can,
never said there wasn't.
no, I'm not saying that. I thought maybe people didn't know that. So, so maybe we can agree to talk about those things and how to proceed.
Well, going
Yes.
forward with this month, we don't know how much has been spent in August, and we haven't spent. So how do we rein that in today?
Okay.
What are some solutions that we could employ today so that that bill doesn't escalate? Because I bet Megan wants to get paid, her company wants to get
Let me
paid.
tell you where I was at with this whole thing. And I'm in a position where I'm a trustee and I approve these bills and all that stuff, so my name is behind this, right? And forgive me for being unaware, uneducated, or ignorant, whatever you want to call it, but I come from a business background where I had assistants and, they would present things to me like this: don't do this, go through me. Do I have to go through them? Absolutely not. I can do it myself. I have to. But I did because it was helpful and it helped me curb my spending, and it was beneficial to me. But then when I get this from a lawyer, it's got, oh, there's a lot of legality involved with this. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Forgive me for being unaware, but I was just thinking this is more like a simple thing that we can do to help curb these costs, help even control the costs. But I'm realizing that it's more of a legality issue than it's a simple,
Right, not
mechanism
as simple.
Yeah, it's not simple.
So I just have some questions about the policy. It's up to you guys, who wants to answer the questions. So who drafted the policy?
A group of people.
Did you guys feel there'd be a conflict interest of the clerk? If the clerk's the only one who is able to give permission to use an attorney.
The we chose an elected official. And Tracy is a non-voting member, so she can make decisions, I think, easier than some of us could, that we don't have personal or ideas. We could just say, Tracy is more objective than many of us are.
So who reviews or the appeal of the clerk's decision? I'll skip that one.
That's a good question.
Independently elected officials, section 17. Cindy is an elected official, has her own division. The clerk has her own division. I have my own division. So that's 3 different divisions of government. So
Well, I can bring it up. It seems like you and Cindy have a contentious relationship. So if we had put Cindy in there, we know that would not have been accepted, because of your relationship. And so it was decided Tracy would probably be the most non-judgmental, more non-opinionated person.
Okay, thank you. So how about investigations and sensitive matters? There are things that goes on in each office that sometimes you have to talk to an attorney privately about, or something is going on. And so if somebody has to go through the clerk every single time, how does that work? What happens if it's time sensitive? What happens if it's a quick email that has to go out, or a conversation? So, on sensitive matters, you guys talk about that. It's statutory authority. I have a different authority than Cindy does, because that's our jobs. That's our job. I mean, I could go on and on and on because for this to work, it cannot give one, in my opinion, give one person who is an elected official all power. But then again, I wasn't included in this. So when I got it on Monday afternoon, you know what I did? I ended up calling the attorney. And then the attorney was able to find pages and pages of things that were not legally. So if we were to work together on a policy in a COW meeting or a discussion, and then we presented it to the attorney, we wouldn't have the same bills that we have right now, because it's a team effort with the attorney fees. It's not just one person. And that's what I think we have to understand. It's easy to look at the bills and just look at the numbers, but you don't always understand what's going on in my office, what's going on in the assessor's office.
Michelle, may I address something? Because I mentioned in this. I want to make clear what was made clear to me is not that I had all rule in judgment. What it was is if something comes across, we had a situation where the employee handbook was brought to the legal, to our lawyer, reviewed by our lawyer, returned to our assessor, and then it was given to, I believe Anne Marie, I could be wrong. Questions were brought up about it, and the lawyer was once again asked to review it. And so the lawyer charged us to review it, and then there was still continued communication back and forth. What the hope is to funnel situations like that into one request to the lawyer and make sure that it's not repetitive, where, like with FOIA, there are a lot of FOIA responses that are very concise and already written up by TOI. And so if you have someone overseeing these things, we don't have to go to the lawyer for every single FOIA request. And sometimes FOIA requests need more information before they go to the lawyer. And that's the same thing with, that's my understanding
Are you
of the
certified?
position.
Did you get your certification yet?
No, because you took the job away from the clerk. You took the job away from the clerk.
Many years ago.
No,
Mm-mm.
no, it was too long ago.
It was more than that. It was, well, it was last term. So Bianca.
We're just having a conversation.
Yeah, so Bianca's up for it.
But I'm not saying, the clerk should be, it is listed legally as the clerk's job to be the FOIA officer and can have a deputy. It wouldn't change. Bianca would still do the same job, but I would be the person to support her instead of Megan. Megan will still be consulted when it's necessary. I'm not trying to put us in a risky position at all, but it's not always, I don't understand why the go-to person for our FOIA deputy is our lawyer. It's costing us a lot of money.
Okay, actually, it's not always the attorney. Bianca has other sources that she uses. So it was really interesting, the things that you're talking about, FOIAs, you're talking about another issue. Those issues you're talking about, it's not about my legal bills. So when we.
Yes, they are.
The FOIA?
No, when I talked about the guidebook, the handbook, it went from one department or one division over to another division, with the second division doing exactly the same thing as the first division did. And so,
But was I on those emails?
You didn't need to be.
So.
you were the
I was
person.
the one that did the handbook.
So I'm saying is,
That you didn't need to be on it. I'm an elected official. I only have to, ask if I can.
I don't think I wasn't even on the email, only email I
It didn't
made.
matter. You didn't need to be on the email. It was between me and the lawyer
So it wasn't.
about my handbook.
But you also talked about my handbook with the lawyer, the same thing with what I just.
Wasn't it because you,
Because we want to do a policy.
So do your own policy.
We are,
Yeah.
so it was suggested to look at the assessors.
please listen.
It was suggested to look at what the assessor has to see if we could work together because you finished your policy or your employee handbook before we did. So that's, I think that's the problem sometimes is we, all of us, we assume something instead of asking the questions. When Bianca does FOIAs, she does not tell me the FOIAs. She works with Anne Marie most of the time, and Anne Marie is able to get those information. So I think one of our problems is understanding our jobs, understanding that we all make assumptions, all of us make assumptions. And maybe we need to take a step back and
I feel
figure.
like you're assuming right now that we are coming at you.
No, that's
But
what I-
We're just saying the legal bills are too high, and it doesn't matter if it's like, it doesn't matter who it was. We are saying we need to do something about the lawyer bills. And it feels
I
like right now
agree.
you're taking it
No, I
personally and
agree.
not offering a solution.
Well,
Well, it's hard to.
it's hard to because I said you guys put this policy together without me being able to have any input. So if you guys pass the policy tonight, then that's the policy in place.
Mhm.
Well, I think it's a fair question to know who drafted the policy. I mean, I would like to
A
know
group
that
of
too.
people.
But why is that a secret?
Because it was a group of people, it's not a secret, but also it's the content, not the person, not the people who created
Okay.
it. It's the content that's important.
Well, yes and no.
But I wasn't included in it, and all the township trustees knew about the policy. They saw the policy, and I wasn't able to get the policy until the board came.
Okay, but because of your consequences, you didn't get that on time. It's not our fault.
But all the other trustees got a
Well,
working
we-
document.
Well,
And-
yeah,
and-
we
and-
talked, I mean, yeah, you wanted us to work together, so we worked together and presented it and talked and hashed things out.
What policy did anybody tell me that I was gonna be a part of? Did you guys tell me, say, we're creating this policy and this is what it's gonna be, Michelle? Do you have any suggestions? Okay, so do we have any more discussions
No.
before we make roll call? A roll call, or you have to say that?
I think we have to move to vote on it.
Yeah. Motion, yeah.
I'll make a motion that we vote on the policy.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Nader,
Yes. I know, like, I have questions on this, though.
Yeah.
do you want the other option? Is to table it.
I mean, I feel like everyone said we wanted to come up with something together, but nobody offered anything different, so it's hard.
There wasn't, at least for me, there wasn't really a chance to offer something different, but it
I
was.
just asked if anyone, like,
Well, I don't have an idea right at this moment. I mean, I said earlier, I think that analyzing the problem a little more deeply, coming up with a committee time to get together and try to solve
right,
it.
but when we go to vote for bills in a month, we literally don't have the money in the line item, so where are we getting the money from?
We have a contingency.
So,
The board has to approve the contingency use.
I mean, the well's going dry.
well, we have actually, we had
I know, but you
resolutions
have to
to
dip
switch money
continuously every
many
month.
times.
You have to dip-
But
I mean, I think we have to set some sort of limit. Not to exceed so many dollars a month. I just think we have to be more realistic. We do that in our household incomes. You pay this much for a bill and you expect it to be that much. If you have a Comcast bill, you expect to spend
What about the
200.
way up is this? You know, or-
Say that again.
The way Bob does it with the retainer, it sounds ridiculous, but it's got a low retainer and they can call us many times as they want.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but
That's my,
That's a good thing. to
Well, we don't know
look
what the retainer is though, so I mean, there would be more to find out about
Yeah.
that.
into. You know,
And
this attorney bill is high every month, you know. Can we negotiate it lower? Do we know that? Is
And
that a
also-
possibility?
And also, you can't
Well,
take,
that's a problem
the
solving.
village of Rum Lake Park is the same as ours because we have different divisions. We have different divisions too. When, you know,
But can we, I mean, look at, that's one solution. Can we negotiate the hourly fee? Can we bring that down? I mean, that's a lot of money we're paying per hour. I mean, even for here, to be here tonight, that's a lot of money.
I know it's totally different, but where my mom lives, she's like president of the HOA and they also pay a monthly retainer. And if there's special things that come up, they negotiate the price on those, but
Right.
they're allowed to make whatever calls that they need. And then townships like Oak Park have a manager, and the manager manages the day-to-day,
Mhm.
and the assessor just does the like board type stuff.
But something has to be done.
I agree. So where are we with this motion?
I think on the table,
We're gonna table it, okay?
Yeah.
So we have to make a motion to table it?
But the payment is also what Liz has been talking about. There's no money.
But I don't think tonight that's gonna solve the problem. I think we have a month to go through it. We could talk about it. We could set up an additional meeting to talk about it. We could do something like that. Because I don't think, as I said before, I have a lot of problems only because, and again, I didn't see Megan's, what she wrote until today. And there's so many things that were not right, that and if you contacted an attorney, we won't say who you worked with, then I think we are gonna have to have an attorney once we create something again to look at a policy. Did you look to see if we had an old policy?
We don't have one. No, I didn't say one.
So I think there's a lot more work that we could be doing together as a team. And I would hope that you guys would respect me enough to include me in discussions.
So you're saying table it till, table it with the condition of having a meeting, or what are you suggesting?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to set up another meeting, and in the meantime, if somebody has different ideas, we could figure that out, but we have to remember there's different things that are going on all the time in the township.
Understandable, but we still need to, you know,
And
reach out to your trustees and, you know, if you're having problems coming on the
And-
agenda, then do it, you know.
and reach out to the supervisor and say, hey, I'm putting a policy together. Maybe we could work together. Okay. If not, if that's all we have, we are gonna go on to the next agenda item.
Well, wait a minute,
We gotta vote, okay.
okay.
So
Just so
the
that
next
the board
month right now,
knows.
so we'll make a motion to table until September.
Until September, okay.
Yes.
I move that we table the decision on how to handle the escalating or the increasing, I guess, cost of the lawyer till next month. I don't know if I need to say any more conditions, like with the condition that we're going to actually work to solve the problem or to discuss the problem this.
And just, and kind of cut back on calling every day, you know. That's just, we have to do something.
Okay, so roll call.
Well, I made the motion. so-
Yeah, I need a second.
Pardon me?
I need a second.
that's
Yeah.
Trustee Nader,
Aye.
trustee Sloan,
Aye.
trustee Arroyo,
Aye.
trustee Henning.
Aye.
Supervisor Bauman.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Okay, Now we go on to public comments.
Should I add myself to that list, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm not sure what the list is.
David, yeah.
I changed my mind. Aren't you guys lucky? I know.
1, 4.
Well, it's not all fun. I am distraught.
Favorite one.
And leaving.
So I will open public participation at this time to anyone who wishes to address the board. Please state your first and last name, for the official meeting minutes. Each person will be allowed 3 minutes to speak. Comments should be made to the board as a whole, and speakers are expected to be respectful and avoid personal attacks or disruptive behavior. The board will listen to your comments, but we will not respond during public comment period. If you would like to direct response, please email Michelle Baumann at mbaumann@avonil.us or any of the other trustees.
There's your investigation.
Thank you. So our first person up is Amy.
I'm standing right here. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, great. I'm Amy Frick, I'm from Grays Lake. Wow. First off, I have to say, Avon Township really puts on a show at your meetings, and that is crazy. I wrote something amazing, but first I have to say, you guys are only as strong as your leader. You got work to do. Before I get into my speech, I also want to commend Trustee Sloan and Supervisor Rodman for going on your field trip. I really appreciate your efforts there. I will say that the T5 in Elk Grove is actually built in the industrial corridor. It's meant for noise. And the Mount Pleasant site, actually, I spent a whole day up there. And I hear from all the neighbors that the noise is inconsistent in when it comes, how loud it is, all the things. So just wanted to back to business. I just want to thank you for your time and attention tonight. The last time I spoke here, it was about the proposed data center. Tonight, I first want to thank the Avon Township trustees for their willingness to take a stand on that issue. As I travel to municipalities across Lake County, I proudly tell people that the Avon Township trustees were the first to pass a resolution you led and other communities have paid attention. But tonight I had a rare 3 evenings from trying to make sure my honeybees survive and that the nearly 3,700 residents of Saddlebrook Farm don't spend their retirement years living next to a hyperscale data center. So I came back. I was deeply troubled by what I witnessed at the last meeting of yours that I attended. And tonight I'm even more concerned. Watching the supervisor attempt to introduce a competing resolution after one had already been brought forward was confusing enough. What concerned me even more was hearing her first say she hadn't seen the trustee's resolution, only to later acknowledge there had been communication about it before the meeting. To the public watching, that contradiction raises questions that deserve answers. Here's the reality. When political loyalties begin to outweigh the voices of the people you are elected to represent, every elected official should stop and ask themselves a difficult question. Who am I really serving? Across Lake County, residents are exhausted. We aren't asking for anything extraordinary. We're asking for what should already exist: accountability, transparency, meaningful public engagement, and responsible planning. Ironically, these data center proposals have accomplished something remarkable. They have united people across political parties because this is not a Republican or a Democratic issue. It's a human issue. People are talking to one another, they're organizing, they're paying attention, and they're showing up. Avon Township does many wonderful things for its residents. You provide services that matter and those deserve recognition. But good programs do not replace good governance. So I'll leave you with this. Every elected official should take a long look in the mirror and ask, am I still leading the people or am I leading politics? Because residents across Lake County are asking that very same question and your actions have not gone unnoticed. And when citizens begin asking whether their elected officials still deserve their trust, elections become the place where that question is answered. And on this note, I will be in touch with Ms. Tracy, the clerk, about FOIA about these legal documents, because I'm very concerned. Thank you.
I promise you.
Thank you. Okay, next is Casey, is it Risk?
Carrie Risky.
Carrie Risk, sorry about that.
Okay, I'm Carrie Risky. I live in Grace Lake. Some people believe life begins with conception, while others believe life begins at birth. A protest movement should begin at conception of a plan that is not well discovered and unknown to the public. That is where we, the citizens, are at with the Village of Grace Lake. The data center and also the change of waste pickup companies was discussed and voted on without public dissertation. Beside all the known harmful effects of data centers, all Grace Lake and Avon Township will be damaged by our property going down in value and higher utility costs. Who in their right mind would want to purchase a home close to a 10 million square foot data center? Data centers, both already built and proposed new ones, are a thorn in our side and now and will be in the future. We must stop them now before it is too late. If we continue to allow these behemoths to be built, in a few years when they become obsolete, these centers will be decaying buildings throughout the United States. Years from now, people will be asking why these were built and for what purpose. The correct answer will be that they were built to destroy neighborhoods, villages, water retention and replenishment supplies, natural grasslands, wild habitat, and society in general. We need to prevent this from happening. The way to keep these centers from becoming extinct is to prevent them from starting up. What will be remembered in a positive note regarding these centers will be how the ordinary citizens banded together to protest the construction of additional centers. We haven't had citizens banding together like this since the protests against the Vietnam War. These protests worked to help shorten the war, but our current nationwide protests against the data centers are written now. The citizens of Lake County have galvanized around this issue. I am so proud of each and every one who has signed petitions, gone to rallies, and attended the conference last week at CLC. We started as a small acorn, but are blossoming into a full-fledged oak tree. That is how our country started, and we are continuing in that great legacy. As Bob Dylan wrote, the times are changing, so it's time for a change in leadership in the Grace Lake government.
Thank you.
And I am running for trustee in 2027.
Thank you. Okay, now we have Travis Haley.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Travis Haley from Round Lake Beach. I'm not going to go into the data center because it's as important as that is. We have to address what's really important in front of us right now. As Trustee Henning already pointed out, you're about roughly 5 months into the financial year right now, about another 7 months to go. And you have just about spent roughly 97%, about what, $850 left, give or take? Maybe 900? That's not going to be enough to afford, September, let alone the month of August. It's that simple, especially with the way how this money has been pouring down right now. That's simple. However, you four trustees, this is where it's very important for you because this is where you get to exercise your limited authority here. Because you're the ones who not only set up the budget, you're not the only ones that are supposed to be auditing the bills, but to also hold when they're going over the spending limit accountable as well and put in limitations upon what they're doing. As Trustee Becky pointed out, you had a great opportunity here and you need some time to digest this. I understand because this is a lot to process, about 18 different proposals that's under that policy. I understand it takes a lot to process that kind of information here. But this has got to be going down soon because I've been attending many board meetings and I've seen multiple supervisors over the years. I even remember the days with Terry Wilkie when he was spending things like a drunken sailor. Oh yeah. We're now going through this expenditure for attorney fees than any other supervisor within the last 20 years. Why? I don't know, but we do need to put in some accountability here. If you don't like what Becky pointed out, then start putting up proposals. Put your money where your mouth is and vote on it.
Thank you. Now we have Marie Newts.
It, along those same lines, I was a member, I'm Marie Newts I live in Santa Barbara County and my fight for the data center is huge, but I am dropping that issue today. I've been to many board meetings and I have to say this is one of the worst run board meetings that I don't want to say run, but I am shocked at what is going on. I totally agree with what you said and the accountability and all of that. I don't think you guys should leave this room until you guys decide to put intensity calls at that. And I'm not calling you out, Michelle, if there's $8,000 in attorney fees that are going on, there has to be a stop. There has to be accountability. If Tracy needs to make sure that it's worth making a phone call, then she needs to do that. I was on our board, I was the secretary treasurer, and I was that for 12 years. Every attorney call, and we had a retainer, and I made those calls. And anyone that needed something, they came to me. And most of the time, we were able to figure it out without calling the attorney. And by the way, when you come and you make this list of things that you have to do, you don't have to call the attorney. It's your own policies that you're making. You don't have to call the attorney and say, hey, are these policies okay? It's your policies, not her policies, not the attorney. It's yours. You don't have to call to make that decision. It's your board, okay? You guys make those policies. You don't have to call them every time. You need to start thinking, do I really need the attorney for that? I mean, you have to, when I left and somebody else came on, my attorney called me and said, who the hell is doing the board now? Because if you don't get her to stop calling me, I have to stop this nonsense. Like, it's done. They were not going to let the retainer go on. That was absolutely done. So if you get the retainer, that's great and everything, but they will only accept a few, a certain number of calls anyway. It's not a retainer that goes on forever. There are important calls that need to be made. There are important calls that don't. But you guys are not working as a team. Anybody from the outside can see that. Guys, you need to work as a team. You have to put your differences aside. If something's not working, you need to make it work. And I know that sometimes that can be hard. And, I'm with you aside, you're working with, 6 different women here. And sometimes women can be bitches. We know it. I mean, honestly, just you guys all need to work together. You guys are on a board of people that trust you. This is Avon Township. There are so many people that trust the money and the help that you guys provide to people. Michelle, I remember where I know you from. I was the person that had a business and gave you all kinds of products.
Oh, yes.
Okay. You guys are out there to help people. Okay. And
Your time is up.
no, but that's all I'm saying. I know you guys can do this,
Thank
and I know you guys care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I add one other thing?
No, I apologize because we're not having, in
No,
the
one
past.
quick thing.
No, you can't, because if you do it, then, and I don't mean it like that,
No, okay.
but
no
we're
problem.
trying to follow procedures. We'll give one person next the opportunity. So now we're gonna go on to members' remarks. Does anybody have anything to say, members' remarks? If not, I do tonight.
I do, actually, can I comment on what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, you had mentioned, like I said, I'm unaware, I'm not as educated as I could be on this, but the thing is, you had mentioned that these are our policies, and you don't need to go to a lawyer. Okay, let's just say we agreed on this policy, and then the lawyer saw this, and then she's like, well, this is all illegal. It's illegal. How does that work?
What's illegal about it? It's your policies. You make
That's
them.
what I mean.
It's government, it's a little bit different because we have different jobs, different roles. Your, Megan, is that okay if she has, I will give you a copy of mine if that's legal. And then you could, here, take it with you. This way you can see everything.
Well, I
heard
everything.
No, but I'm saying it's here. So this way, the information is not just a perception, it's actual, just so that you know, yes, I wasn't a part of the policy.
Right.
And I read the policy, and other people read the policy.
And I think everybody needs to agree on a policy. But every policy that you guys make does not have to be said.
No, I mean, you're right, you're right, but there's so many other things that go on this topic. So sometimes taking a snapshot, I understand, we don't look good.
These are David's remarks, right?
Listen,
Sorry.
listen.
Sorry.
No,
We don't look good. But the thing is, there's so many other things that go into our job and in situations and roles.
You guys are talking amongst yourselves. I get it.
You know what I mean?
I
So,
understand.
but I do understand what you're saying. I apologize.
No, no,
So that's a question for you guys, really.
right. And that's what I meant, what I was saying earlier, is that I understand that, it's good to have somebody in charge that can tell you and keep control of things, and I understand that you don't have to listen to that person. You can go above and beyond them, but the thing is, they're there for a reason, and that's all I'm saying with that comment that I made earlier, so.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any members' remarks? Okay, if I do, I'm gonna pass it out, and there's a reason why. So, take substantive statements on the project's merit when they are acting as board members for Avon Township as individuals and express their own view. So he did snowball, and that's great that Avon Township was the first. And okay, but when people make assumptions because they only see a snippet, I wanted you guys to be a part of our meeting. I wanted it on the agenda so that if we were going to be talking about the T5, you would be able to come in or I would learn about it. On May 29th was when I joined the anti-data, Facebook page. Then we had this town meeting, and then the next week we had the resolution that I wasn't a part of. I found out on a Saturday afternoon. I didn't have enough knowledge. I never spoke to the village. And so when you talk about me and what I was trying to write in 48 hours or whatever that was, at 24 hours to write something, I was doing the same thing that I was trying to do in the comments. And I apologize to you, Becca, for trying to stop you from talking. But I wanted you guys to be included because we could have been a different board that said we are for the data center, or we could have been that other board, and you never would have heard us talk. So again, when you take a snippet, we don't look very good. But there's a backstory that I've been trying to share with you. And again, I tried, I made a mistake trying to had Becca not talk. But if you look at it, I kept saying that it could be an open meeting because you guys think about it. So that's all I was trying to say is.
The committee of the whole meeting is an open meeting.
Right, but what I'm saying is because it wasn't on the agenda, my concern was that we were gonna be talking about such a big topic. When we talk about how other villages are having meetings behind closed doors or anything, I just wanted you guys to know that I was trying really
So
hard.
you're saying that you, and now I'm taking your members, Mark, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Do you want me to ask?
yeah, you asked me.
That we could have planned a county meeting where that was on the agenda and people could have seen it.
Or coming or a regular
Or regular
agenda,
meeting.
that when we lack communication, this is what happened. And so you guys are right.
You guys
No.
need healing. You guys need.
You guys are right, but people could assume one thing, but again, I tried. And I apologize if things didn't come out right. And you're right, you don't look good. But the thing is, all of us really do care.
I believe you,
Really
I believe you do, and I believe that you guys
there's
can
so
heal.
many things that make up this meeting, and it was a hostile meeting, but if you see us as who we are as regular people, like not, moment in time, I think you guys would see how we all can work
How about we all come back next meeting and you guys heal and
Give
show
us
us
some
something
time.
different?
And give us a time, and please don't just completely judge us.
No, I'm not judging. I mean, shit happens, and you guys, I think you guys are a strong group of people,
I appreciate you saying that.
and I think you guys can do it.
This was a very anxiety meeting because there was already stress, and then when you add people who are already coming for you, because I wanted to talk to people. There were people that I wanted to talk to, but I couldn't have a conversation with them. And I think I would have been able to have that conversation. And I talked to a lot of people about the data center, so I encourage you to come back, meet with us separately, and learn more about us, learn more about Avon Township.
Well, I appreciate you guys saying no. I really do. I think that was very strong thing that you guys did to Grays Lake and saying no, and I appreciate that. I think everybody else does too.
Also took guts for you to say what you just did.
You guys can heal and you guys can't, and you will.
Michelle,
I know you will.
I will give you credit for apologizing to Rebecca because you were very disrespectful to her at that meeting and I actually reached out to her and applauded her effort. So I give you credit for apologizing to her. Thank you for being a good leader that way.
Thank you. So there's no other.
Can I just do one thing with the report? I appreciate you saying the apology to Becca. I really do. I'm going to say it's all about communication. And Michelle, reach out. I don't get calls from you. Reach out.
Okay, so
Please reach out. That's all I'm asking. Please.
I agree. But if you're gonna create a policy, this is the second policy, the same people happen to show up to. And there's step 2 policies or one resolution, one policy that I wasn't a part of. So of course.
Have a group chat, but everybody chat.
We can't talk to more than,
Only two of us can
only
be
2 of us
together.
can talk.
Oh.
So there's a lot of like government rules and written things that go on that it's not as simple as, again, people make things out to be. But I would love for you guys to come back next month. I will give you guys all my card, my business card to reach out to us. And, and ask us not just about our legal, ask us about everything else we do here so that you guys can become advocates. Not, we need advocates to show what we do here. So with that, I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn.
And let me go get my business cards.
But I wanted to say,
Okay.
that the meeting's over. Are you making